Selling your company, getting what it's worth, will dramatically affect you and your family's life, sometimes for generations. Thus, who represents you will be one of the most important business relationships you'll ever have. To ensure you get the optimum outcome you deserve, maximum price, proper structure, minimal taxes and liabilities, and best employment agreement/non-compete, here are 10 things to look for when choosing an investment banking firm to represent you.
1. Focus on technology, selling only software IT companies. You want the firm that handles technology deals only, specifically sell-side engagements. They must be able to manage the entire M&A process from beginning to end, from preparation to integration advice, so that you're completely supported at every step. You don't want someone who only does a piece of the process, consulting, research, valuation, nor the full-service firms that try to do everything. Handling all of the elements of a sales side is 5 times more work than buying for a fee. Thus, very few firms are set up to do sell-side engagements properly. Just look at their tombstones. Who have they sold, not bought or financed, and in what markets? What buyers have they dealt with?
2. No conflict of interest. Be sure that your advisor doesn't have conflicts. Conflict comes in 3 basic forms. 1. The biggest and most obvious conflict is that they don't represent your competitors. Not only can they steer buyers to them, but there are too many potential breaches of confidential information. Clients, leads, pricing, so many. 2. Representing buyers is a built-in conflict. Who do they truly represent? Their bread and butter are buyers who will do multiple acquisitions over several years. They'll only work with you once. 3. Resource competition. Are the key people in the firm tied up in other engagements? Buying, financing, recapitalizations, workouts, etc., where you won't get the proper attention. Great sell-side deal makers know how to get that record value, play bidders against each other to get maximum value. But they can't do it if they're conflicted.
3. Contract alignment. Is your agreement a true partnership? Does the M&A firm expect a large upfront settlement, minimum fee, or payment on rejected offers? There are still firms trying to do this with tail periods of 2, 3, or more years. Those are firms you don't want to work with. You need a firm whose contract aligns their interests with yours, meaning they get paid only if you get paid, at the same time and in the same form, with no requirement to accept any offer. In other words, they are assuming some of the risk on any contingency payments, earnouts, stock, etc., just like a shareholder. Are they willing to say no to an offer if it's the right thing to do? Or are they just focusing on a commission?
4. Domain expertise, thought leadership. We all know the unhappy seller who lamented that their representative just didn't understand my business. This is a particular problem in tech, where savvy buyers just won't suffer fools who don't have domain expertise and lack thought leadership around technology convergence. In today's environment, the highest valuations are seen around the emerging disruptive technology trends. Your advisor must be able to map your company to disruptive trends and show how your technology would be a key building block to the buyer's strategy. Caution: don't engage a firm that is too hyper-focused on a particular market or a very small niche. Their buyer focus is too narrow, and new bidders are constantly emerging from related markets, non-tech, sub-funds, and new acquisition platforms.
5. Research is critical. Look on the website of M&A firms you're considering to see the size of their research. It should be the largest single group in their company. If it isn't, then they are relying on public information sources, which are inadequate or anywhere near as current and detailed as you need to be on top of who's buying, why, and how much they are paying. That is where the biggest values are. In an engagement, the crafting of the story requires developing language that's totally compelling. To successfully craft the story, an advisor must be able to call on market growth data and related trends that paint the most positive picture of future value. This kind of current information is not available in any of the public databases, no matter how expensive they are, PitchBook, 451, etc. It has to be done confidentially by in-house researchers and analysts.
6. Negotiation. Senior deal makers only. Negotiating the sale of your company is no place for rookies. A seasoned pro knows that getting the deal done is not easy, And getting you through buyer requests, due diligence, and contract preparation is even more complex these days, with more potential stress on you. Thus, whoever represents you must have senior staff involved in the process. You must insist on the team being primarily made up of former CEOs who have sold their own, as well as other tech companies. Their gravitas makes a real difference. Someone you can lean on. They have the credibility to get the response from the buyers and can carry their weight in negotiations. And you need equally senior backup, as tech M&A is a non-stop global process now with real-time bidding.
7. It takes a team. With even more significant due diligence and a faster transaction pace, the problem is that you, as a CEO, can easily get overwhelmed. The myriad steps needed to succeed are too distracting. You can't risk your business missing targets just when you need to make or exceed them. That's why the industry leaders in sell-side tech M&A assign a team, not just one person. You need valuation experts, writers, researchers, presentation coaches, financial analysts, lead negotiators, and backup negotiators. On average, 5 people. And like the dealmakers, they shouldn't be juniors. They must be experts providing support so that the process does not weigh you down. Just ask anyone who's been through selling their company.
8. Curated proprietary buyer database. Accept no substitute. Beyond preparation, research, and valuation, does the M&A advisory firm have the right contacts? Can they get you to the right people in the right buyer's organization? It's much of what you're paying them for. Or are they relying on public information, which is usually outdated? Do they maintain proprietary data on the acquisition submission process of buyers, who's involved, and how they make decisions? And do they have active, regular dialogues with the buyers? Do they know them? This proprietary information is usually gained over several years of working with all the buyers, including what they're buying, preferred deal structures, and negotiation tactics. These global buyer databases cost $50 to $100 million to build and maintain. Without them, they can't adequately represent you.
9. The right M&A process is the key to higher value. Does the M&A advisor have a detailed, proven process that works with a track record to prove it? Selling software and IT is different. There's no book value, so it's more about telling your story, creating buyer tension, and getting that auction process that secures you the best deal. If they don't have a process to engage the various parties at the right time, you can't do that. Inexperienced firms, happy with just getting you any offer, will not go through the proper preparation and research needed to get you through due diligence. Nor will they thoroughly research buyers to do a proper global search. They just don't have the resources or investment in a buyer knowledge base. They'll pitch a valuation, convert your brochure to an offering letter, and contact the buyers you deem most likely. That may get you an offer, but never one that would be considered an optimal outcome.
10. Be sure to have valuation high ground on your side. Valuations too early can scare some buyers off and leave some money on the table with others. But you might need them later in the process as you get into deep negotiations. At that time, you'll want the best valuation specialists in the business on your side. One fact to note is that deal comps of private company transactions are seldom publicly known. Thus, you need an advisor with proprietary information and inside transactional data to provide a defensible valuation that will increase your value. People think you simply use the proper methods, plug in some comps and discount factors, and you can produce a defensible number. Not true. Each buyer is different. How they view your technology and the opportunity you represent, remember the story, will impact what they may be willing to pay. You need high ground in valuation expertise, so get a firm that is highly respected on your side and has the respect of the buyers. Finally, like any critical business relationship, be sure to work with people you like and trust, as the journey can be stressful, but worthwhile. You will get a much higher offer with a much better structure if done right. Done improperly, without adhering to these 10 tips, you won't even get an offer.